You're now listening to All Hog Sports, covering all Arkansas Razorback sports, such as football, basketball, baseball, and much more. Now, here's your host for today's show, Sam Stimson.
Make it 5 in a row. This Arkansas Razorback team won their 5th straight game on the road at Ole Miss, 64-55. Arkansas held Ole Miss under 60 points, and in the last 2 games, they have held other teams under to 60 points on the road, which is really incredible. The Razorback Communications account tweeted that out. Thought I'd mention that. Huge part in this win. J.D. Notae scoring 25 out of the team's 64 points. J.D. was 10 for 23 from the floor and 4 for 10 from deep. Like I said, to maximize his opportunities, he's got to stay out of foul trouble, and he did so. Only had 2 fouls and was able to play 38 minutes. A guy who played fantastic in this game additionally is Trey Wade. Very silently, Trey Wade has become one of Arkansas's best shooters statistically. 59% from the floor leads the team, and then for 3-point, he shoots 84%. Now, it's also different because not every guy who, is a good shooter is a volume shooter and such. Like, JD's always going to shoot more threes than Wade, but Wade's going to have a higher percentage. But last game, he was 2 for 2 from 3 against Ole Miss, 2 for 2 against Texas A&M, 5 for 5 from the floor. The motor that Wade plays at is really fantastic, and he's able to use his body, to make smart moves and stuff. Wade shooting 1, 2, 3 times a game is very fantastic. I got to say the MVP of this one, yet again, though, Jalen Williams, man. 18 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Now, unlike Wade, I think Williams makes his impact on the court, very well known. It's not as silent. Both of them are really good, though. But the last 5 games, Williams has had a huge impact on this team on winning, and his splits are just fantastic. 15 points, 10 rebounds, averaging around, I think, 3 assists in that as well. And then you look at his shooting percentages, 50% from the floor, 35% around there from 3, 90% from the free throw line. Williams is playing like a NBA center and one of the best centers in the SEC and in college basketball. 6'10", 240, huge impact all around for Arkansas winning games. 2 steals in this one, 6 steals in the game before that, 3 blocks in this game against Ole Miss, 3 blocks in the one before it. He's just fantastic and all around one of the best players. Earlier in the season, he still had this huge effect on Arkansas winning a lot of those non-conference games, but he really affected the game without scoring. And if you remember then, he shot a lot of pump fakes and then passed. But he's been shooting those, 6 for 10 from the floor. Williams is not usually shooting 10 shots per game, but I think right now he has every reason to keep on doing that. Last 3 games, he shot 10, 10, 11, and then before the season, he only shot double-digit 1 time this season. I definitely think he should be shooting that much, and it's a smart move for Arkansas. Shoot or shoot, and he's one of your best guys. I think a lot of people discount the defensive game that Devo Davis brings to the court. I know he was 0 for 2 and had 0 points, but his defensive ability, which doesn't really show up in the stat sheets because he's not getting a lot of steals and stuff, but he's locking down a lot of the other teams' second, third best players in multiple games. 3 assists and 2 turnovers is a good number in 22 minutes. Shots weren't falling, so you don't have to keep shooting. He only shot twice in that one, but Devo's still having a really huge impact on the ability to move into transition defense and things like that. Kalani Johnson picked up some minutes off the bench. He's 90-95% back where he was, but he's a huge spark plug off the bench. Amude didn't have his best game either. He was 0 for 4, but Devo played in for him a good amount of the game. Wade putting up 40 minutes in this game was huge too. Ole Miss runs that 1-3-1 zone, which can be tricky. Just from experience, I've seen it in a lot of youth basketball games. It's a tricky zone to play against. There's a lot of coaches in the SEC that I don't think are good enough to move on to other jobs, but not bad enough to get fired or have a good team. Those guys are Kermit Davis, Howland, Kwanzaa, Frank Martin, and they've had really good teams. These guys have ability to coach really well. I don't know if it's recruiting and such. I don't really follow those teams as much as Arkansas. But what these teams do really well is their coaches can make a game ugly with the style of defense that they play. Like Martin, Quanzo Martin, Frank Martin, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Those teams' coaches all run really hard defenses. The 1-3-1 is not something easy to beat, and the 14 turnovers kind of relates to that. Arkansas has been a high turnover team, and it just may stay that way. That's just the style of basketball that Arkansas plays. But, 16 assists right there is a huge number. Trey Wade with 4 of those being second leader, and then Note at first with 5. He's been huge at running that point guard the last 5 games. Last 5 games for Arkansas, all have been wins. JD has ran point guard 56% of the time, according to KenPom. Chris Lyson, Devo Davis right behind him in that order. For Ole Miss, though, Ruffin had 10 points, Morrell had 14 points. And really, holding your opponent to 55 points and 34.5% from the floor will win you a lot of games. Lots to be happy with. Arkansas out-rebounded by 2. Not really a huge deal there. I'm really happy, though, with how this game worked. Arkansas never, was super behind. I think Ole Miss had a lead of 1 from around the 16-minute warning. Arkansas kept the lead throughout the game. It didn't get tied or close in any aspects of that. So yeah, lots to be happy with this win. Never underestimate road wins in the SEC. Nothing is granted in there. Arkansas also covering the 4-point spread in this one. Now, one of my favorite weekends of the year for college basketball has to be the Big 12 SEC Challenge. Huge games across the whole entire conference, and Arkansas has one at Bud Walton Arena, January 29th at 1 p.m. on ESPN2. The West Virginia Mountaineers play Arkansas Razorbacks. Hogs are 11-1 at home. Mountaineers 1-3 on the road. They're starting off with the Mountaineers. Taz Sherman has been incredible for them this season. 18.5 points per game on 42% field goal percentage. He also plays some good defense. Against Oklahoma, he had 11 points, a bit of an off day. Statistically, 33% from the floor in that one. West Virginia, though, as a team, has been fading the last few games. They have looked better than the part this year and looked like a solid team ready to make the tournament, sitting at 13-2, 2-1 in conference. But since then, they've lost at Kansas, which is, that's always tough. Then they played Baylor, Texas Tech, OU, and all 4 of those teams are good, and I think they all make the tournament. But, losing skids certainly impact the team as when you start losing more games, it kind of spirals downward, as you saw with Arkansas and such. But never underestimate a team's ability to get back up. Sherman, though, incredible offensive player. The main thing Arkansas will have to do against him is guard him a lot off ball, because he really doesn't play on that much. 6'4", shooting forward. Every single rotation, he's going to be around at that 3 spot. Now, if you don't remember, the rebounds leader, Gabe O, he actually played for Arkansas a while back. He averages 5.7 rebounds per game, and he's the ultimate glue guy. He served a different role here at Arkansas, but transferred when Musselman got here. He's in his final year over there at West Virginia. He really does fit well into that system that Bob Huggins runs. And the thing is, you can't underestimate a guy like Huggins. He's probably going into the Hall of Fame. He's one of the better college basketball coaches of all time, despite never winning a title. And he's really known for that, that man pressure defense. And sometimes they will press, but they haven't pressed in recent years as much. And then they run a motion offense as well. But you can't underestimate a coach like Huggins. One of the best, can certainly have an on day for his team, outcoach the other guy across the sideline. But yeah, the main thing Arkansas has to do here is limit Sherman's ability for sure. So around the 2 spot will be McNeil, 13.6 points per game from him. Jalen Bridges, another forward, and then Malik Curry, guard, will likely run point along with Keatron Jackson. Like I said, the Sherman will take a lot of shots, lots of possession rates. Plays are going to be ran for him. I think the main thing with Sherman is you'll see Devo on him, 6'4", same height there. And then Tony as well. Tony playing the defense against the final minutes in the LSU game against Eric Gaines was huge for just confidence builder and, really seeing that defense that was advertised when he transferred here from Pitt. Their big men will either be Isaiah Cottrell or Paulie Polycap. And then Gabo will run some there. Gabo also runs a lot of power forward. Like I said, though, he's the ultimate glue guy. Don't underestimate his ability despite him not getting a lot of shots and such. But he actually was the team's leading scorer in their game against Oklahoma. He only averages 5.1 points per game. But against Oklahoma, he went to the free throw line 10 times. So, he hasn't been shooting well from the free throw line at all, 39.6%. But he was hot from the line. And then was also nice from the field in there. His shooting splits are 48.6, and then he has shot, I think, 1 or 2 threes, hasn't made them, and then free throw percentage at 40%. Yeah, don't underestimate his defense, too. Now for Arkansas, I expect the same starting 5, J.D. Notae, Odise Tony, Stanley Amude, Trey Wade, and Jalen Williams. That's been the top line for most of the season, and then you'll likely see Amude get subbed out, and then Tony will bump down. Devo will come in for Tony. Amude also sometimes come in for Wade later in the game, too. There's multiple options there. But you've got to have JD cooking. JD has been fantastic this season. He just signed a name, image, and likeness deal with a company associated with the Hunt family. I'll talk about that more in future podcasts for sure, but this is absolutely huge for Arkansas, just as a whole, as a school, offering the best deals to their athletes, and I love to see it for all the student athletes out there. Additionally, Arkansas has to stay out of foul trouble. Don't want West Virginia going to the bonus early. Have your guys play well, though. We need some contribution off the bench. I don't know how to be points-wise, depending on how good of a low-scoring game this is. But, Devo will come off the bench. He certainly can provide defense for the team always. If his offensive game is on, that'll be a plus, too. Kamani Johnson and then Chris Likes. Additionally, Likes has been rather inconsistent. I mean, early in the season, if we can get that type of Likes back, I think he'll be a huge asset off the bench. But he's been kind of fading, and I don't know if this is the right comparison. But, Desi Sills last season almost had the same thing where he started off really good and he faded into conference play. I don't think it's too late for Likes to switch it around because he's certainly getting opportunities to play better and such. And then Kamani Johnson, additionally. I'd be shocked to see anybody else off the bench. That's the 8-man rotation that I see Musselman going with. So that's why it's important to stay out of foul trouble, too, with the shorter rotation. Also got to have Tony scoring. Not a lot of plays set for him, but he's certainly a scorer. And then, Williams, Wade, all those other guys for adding points up on the board, too. They've been able to do that and make their open shots. And if Williams can carry this team to another win, it will be looking real good, especially for the NCAA tournament. Arkansas sits right now in most brackets as a last 4 in or last 4 bye. They've been moving up, though, in the net rankings. January 11th, they were 98. I'm recording this on January 27th, and they're sitting at 48, which is the highest they've been since the Oklahoma loss, I'm pretty sure. Each quadrant, though, quadrant 1, 1 and 3, we've got 7 more games. Tough schedule to end the season. Last 8 games for Arkansas, 7 of those are quadrant 1 games. Played Tennessee twice, Kentucky, LSU, Alabama, Auburn, and then Florida on the road. Those are some tough games. Quadrant 2, Arkansas is sitting at a nice 4-1. 2 more left in that. Quadrant 3 is sitting at a 3-1. 2 more left in that one. One of the games that Arkansas ended up losing this season to Hofstra actually moved up to a barely Q2 loss. So if Hofstra can stay top 100, that'd be nice for the net rankings. Vanderbilt is that Q3 loss. No more Q4 games left on the season, though. Q3 games, Georgia, Missouri, this game against West Virginia is a Q3. I'll talk more about that, especially when I get into bracketology. But this Arkansas